Hi, this is Jim Vidlac and Patrick Keith, and my head, and you're watching LXG. Hello, and welcome to a special holiday edition of the Sunday News. I am the second-class elitist. With us today is Ali Alcatraz, the leader of the Zombunny apocalypse, apparently. Zombunny. Zombies. Bunny.
Bunny. Get it.
Zombies. Bunny.
Get it.
Zombies. Bunny. Okay.
Okay.
Alright, so sorry about last week, guys. Technical difficulties and work-related issues came up, and that's all behind us now, so we're back here. Yay! So what do we have to talk about this week?
Well, first we're going to talk about seasonal news.
Okay.
Because, in case you can't tell, I like the holidays. First of all, I'd like to mention that Wyrd is having a delightful Easter sale. They have put up a brand new limited edition model for the sale called a War Rabbit.
By the way, the War Rabbit, some people have already gotten them. Like,
oh, yeah?
The first day got some.
Okay.
And it's big. Like, big.
Big.
Yeah.
It's a substitute for the war pig, so it's a big plump rabbit at like full sprint, being ridden by a couple gremlins that are only sort of holding on. Yeah,
I'm not so much sure that it's a substitute for the war pig, and I think it's more a substitute for like a figure case.
So it's in fact vehicle size.
50mm base.
It's a tank.
Okay.
It's a rabbit tank.
Assuming that this is the 50mm base, give me a base.
50mm base. There we go.
Alright, so assuming that this is a 50mm base, the War Rabbit is probably about that big.
Oh my goodness!
Because he's overhanging...
That's a big rabbit!
It's a big rabbit. He's overhanging the base front and back.
That rabbit's a killer.
It's a killer. It's a vicious forest killer.
It's a vicious forest killer.
Okay.
So, they originally only made like 1,000 of those, and sold out of them within the first 4 days of the sale.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, half of them were sold before the sale officially started. The sale officially started on April 1st. And they reopened the store the night before, and like half
and it was gone. It was gone, guys.
The good news is you can still get your War Rabbits tank thing because they're going to make another batch with whatever sells for the remainder of the sale. Yeah, so you can still get it.
Also, if you don't want to get it now because the ones that are going up now, it's more likely that the order will be delayed because they don't have these and they're going to have to get these cut.
Yeah.
Wyrd has been doing this thing where limited edition models reappear in their sales later on.
They
so
do.
I can kind of almost guarantee you that this is not the only opportunity you're going to have to get a War Rabbit, especially because, holy crap, people went crazy over the War Rabbit.
It was so crazy. I'm sure they'll bring it back next year like they do with a lot of...
I'm almost willing to stake a claim that you'll also see it show up for the Gen Con sale.
Okay.
Almost.
As a matter of fact, well, yeah, they might have some extras made while they're having the second batch made.
Right.
As a matter of fact, on the subject of recurring special edition models, there are other ones that are recurring during the Easter sale, which they do a lot with their sales.
Yeah. Limited edition doesn't mean, for Wyrd, doesn't mean this time only.
Yeah.
Limited edition means you can't normally buy it.
Right, so, I mean, there's a lot of other special edition crews that are coming out, a lot of the Dayglow and Translucence, I mean, even the Nightmare Edition Terror, I think they...
yeah, that was back up. $90.
Is back up. But also some of the Translucence. I know that there was a Translucent Blue Arcanist's Rasputina.
There was.
Which is a great choice because, I mean, actually...
It's gone now. I got all of them. Seriously.
Half the things in that box actually should be made of ice, so that's perfect for that. But some of the other ones, too, that you've seen recently are also up there.
By the way, if anybody ever wants to play a 125 Soulstone game of Malifaux, come on by. I can do that using just my Cult of December models.
He's nutty.
Yeah, we actually figured out the points this week.
He's nuttier than a fruitcake.
Yeah, we actually figured out the points this week. 125 points. Painted game. Only Cult of December.
Yeah. So there's some good stuff going on in that sale. Mostly this stuff that's actually on sale is just the special edition stuff coming out.
Right.
But there's also two special release ones with a certain purchase amount. With the $100 purchase is a alternate Karis, and $200 is the special edition Performer that was done last time.
Yeah.
So, and you know, wool wabbits.
Wool wabbits.
Wool wabbits.
It's kind of weird that the limited edition Karis model is coming out before the Karis
regular
set.
edition Karis.
Almost like releasing a Nightmare edition of a kit 2 years before the actual kit comes out.
Oh, at least they're finally doing that one. But, so that sale is still going till, I believe, the 10th.
Yeah.
So you still have time to get your limited edition kits and, you know, order War Rabbits, which you won't get right away because, you know.
And why would you be interested in a War Rabbit if you don't play Gremlins?
Because it's so freaking big, apparently. And, I mean, you know, Wyrd, everything's in a million pieces. You don't have to put the Gremlins on.
Correct.
So, you can, you know, use this for, like, any massive stat card you want to use if it somehow fits into whatever theme you're doing.
Ooh, a Slate Ridge Rabbit could be interesting.
Oh, what?
Slate Ridge
Rabbit. Yeah, that could certainly be a thing that happens. That thing looks like it could maul some things.
A little bit.
Also, I mean, Neverborn is a nature faction. I'm sure there's an excuse for putting a giant rabbit in there.
And even if there's not, an idea that I've seen kicked around on the internet a little bit is altering the sculpt slightly. And this project has been nicknamed the Velveteen Teddy.
Draw your own conclusions.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, Marcus.
Yeah.
It's all about the beasts. If you like the rabbit and there's something you want to do, putting it with that, there's plenty of room for big beasties in that list.
Sure.
So, plenty of uses for a big tank of a rabbit. Big mutant rab tank. So, you know, and of course the other nice limited edition stuff there too, and maybe some free models, so go check out the sale.
Cool.
Alright, moving on to, this is all in no particular order just for the fun of it, because it's like random like Easter candy. Bombshell. Mm-hmm. They have officially, for Counterblast, released the Hero Builder.
Yes.
Rule set. There's some rule sets, there's some blank cards you can use to write it up yourself.
Basically what the Hero Builder is it's an attempt for you to make your own custom heroes and leaders for your Counterblast factions. This way, if you want to make something that's a little bit different than what's being offered, you're trying to tell an individual story, you really want to make Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers, Johnny Rocket Pants, whatever you want,
right?
You can do that.
Anything that, you know, Patrick Keith hasn't gotten around to sculpting for you yet,
right?
You can
make your own.
Make your own rendition.
There's a lot of good options with that. I like that it's open for all of the factions, not just the human ones.
Okay.
I like that there's a couple neat options, like technically you can make an Edo Fleeny leader that is in fact a beast.
Okay.
Like that spawns a whole new idea for how to run an Edo Fleeny force that has no actual Edo in it.
Which, I was going to say, and that's really not that weird, because even when I was playing with the Cider, I mean, something like that could certainly be a leader. You know, it's a really big character, and so you could do all Edo-kin or something along those lines, which should be interesting.
Now, this is definitely beta level of the rules, perhaps alpha level of the rules. There is still some tweaks being worked on, so things are going to be being changed. But if you're looking for a 15 or 28mm skirmish game, where you have the ability to make the leader that you want and play the faction you want written up the way you want to do them, one of the nice things about the Hero Builder is, realistically, because you can do a game where you feel nothing but heroes.
Okay.
Because you can take like 4 heroes instead of 2 heroes and 6 minions, for example.
Okay.
You could make an entire custom list.
Okay.
Like maybe you want to do some...
really expand this and do...
Right. Like maybe you want to build a faction which is a Lancer faction, which are... Let's do a quick sci-fi 80s TV mashup. Ready?
Okay.
Let's say you want to build a faction which are all ex-GDF GDF sentries and leaders who are currently wanted by the Galactic Council for crimes they didn't commit.
Hey, that's a nice one.
Right?
I like that.
4 or 5 models, you're done.
Right.
You can build them to those personas.
Right.
using these rules.
Not to mention you have so many different interesting races. If you want to latch on to one race and design an entire crew around that race, but still have all the different skills and whatnot that may not be on the default cards that they come with,
right,
then you'd have those kinds of options too. So some interesting things you can do with that to really expand your Counterblast universe, or perhaps fill it out from within.
Yeah.
But so that's some interesting possibilities there. Also interesting possibilities. The Pulp City model swap is underway.
Yay!
It's been locked. Everyone has gotten a partner. If you signed up and don't know who your partner is, like I don't because I'm really slow about going on the internet, go on and back into the forums and get your partner and get in contact with them.
Yeah, basically if you were in the model swap and you haven't gone and taken a look yet, everybody that was in the model swap, their names got randomized in order. The person above you in the list is making your model. You're making the model for the person below you in the list. Really simple.
Right.
And I kind of like that it's, since the idea of it was to be community building, I expected it to be, I'd get paired with this person would get paired with me, and I like that it's not, because now instead of meeting one person, I'm meeting two.
It's transitive instead of reversing.
Exactly.
Right. So yeah, so we really just, it's like a swap around the table paint thing kind of, thing, so you're all interacting with
who's painting your model for you?
Oh, who's painting my lovely... Yeah, I kind of, won. I won the model swap because Mr. Devon is, in fact, going to be painting my model for me, so I win.
Yeah. She's really excited. She's really looking forward to this
I'm very, very happy. I can't wait to see
what he's going to do.
What he's going to do. Yeah, that was... I'm like, all right, I win. I'm moving on.
Yeah.
So...
So we know
how lucky can you get?
We know that Devon's doing yours.
Devon's doing mine.
John Boyer is doing mine.
Okay.
And I'm doing one for Jeremy Barnhart, which is, it's just cool that it just kind of worked out this way. There's so much for community building.
I know, right? Like, okay, and no one from outside is involved.
And the only thing we don't know yet is who...
It was random, we swear!
And the only thing we don't know yet is who you're actually doing one for.
I apologize, person I'm painting for, that I haven't looked you up yet. I will do that shortly.
But if person she's painting for is watching this...
And wants to get in contact...
Post something down below so that we know and she can find you.
And
apparently...
we'll hook up and I'll paint you something really, really cool.
Because apparently going to the forum to send a PM... to you, that might be too much work.
Oh,
so we'll make this work. Okay.
I'm not good with forums. I will, I promise. And I'll paint you something very, very nice. So, okay, awesome. Alright, moving on. I heard that the Wasteman Kickstarter succeeded.
Yeah, and it kind of like, okay, not going to make it, not going to make it, not going to make it 124%. Like,
it was like, its growth was like, let me do this right direction with the camera. It's like, yeah, alright, we're here, and then the last minute we kind of did this thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Kind of like that. So, but that's great, some great Grizzlies came out of that.
Yeah, literally on the verge of being canceled early because the originator kind of felt that it wasn't going to make it. Fortunately for everybody that likes free stuff, he stuck around a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And put up a model people were waiting for, and a bunch of people threw money on it. Oh, and look, now that made it right to the goal, so now this other thing gets unlocked. So now more people are in. And then there's a new Kickstarter exclusive model, so everybody jumps on that. Oh, and now there's one more free model that's in there if you have the pledge, so now there's enough free models for people to count, dollars per model.
Right.
The DPM value is good enough for some of them to jump in, and the next thing you know, literally in the last 2 days, he made almost half his money.
We went from like 80% to like 130% or something like that. Just like kaboom.
It was nuts.
Which is cool. Congratulations.
Good job. Go make my stuff.
Yeah.
Alright.
So we can get to work on them, so we can put more models up on the model count on the board.
Oh, don't mention the count.
Yeah.
No.
You'll know that I haven't done the quarterly review yet. Because it's not pretty. So, alright. Anyway, in con news,
yay!
Next weekend, for those of you in the Philadelphia area, there is a Philly GamesCon happening.
Anyone that's in the greater LXG area.
The greater LXG area.
We honestly just found out about this. It kind of feels bad saying this. This has got to be a small con.
Yeah.
It's at the Crown Plaza in Trevose, April 17th to 19th. And literally, the only reason we're even talking about this, even though I'm like 10 minutes from there, is Bob Mervine of Comfy Chair Games sent me a message going, "Hey, are you guys going?"
Oh, yeah, sure. Let me check my calendar.
Nobody even knew this thing was happening. So this is bad advertising.
So,
we will get with these people
scale.
and make sure that we get to talk about them earlier next year so that this can become a big thing.
Yeah, because that'd be great for us since it's, close.
Honestly, if we'd even known 2 months ago, we'd be running stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, we would have, come up with some kind of table or something to run.
I may have
but
tables.
It is,
I may have a few.
That's true. So, so it is pretty small scale. $35 will get you a whole weekend pass.
Yep.
The individual day passes are $15 for Friday, $25 for Saturday, and $20 for Sunday. So it's a real easy thing to just stop by. If it's small scale and we just found out about it, then that also means you probably won't have a problem not being able to get the tickets.
True.
So you should be able to get in.
We think that parking might not be an issue.
Yeah. So, I've never... Oh, yeah, Crown Plaza. They're going to have tons of parking. They're going to have far more than for the event.
Yeah, it's fine.
So, great opportunity to stop by real quick. Tiny little con, nice and homey, and talk to some people and look at some cool stuff.
If you're a Spine Spur fan, little birdie has told me that, Bob will be there at some point on Saturday. So that you can, find him and get autographs because, he's massively world famous.
Yeah.
And
more Spine Spur.
And more Spine Spur. We may be there ourselves Saturday. We may be there ourselves Sunday, trying to work out showing up for at least one of the days.
Yeah.
More news on that during the week. Keep an eye on our Facebook page, and hopefully I'll be able to tell you guys what's up.
Cool. All right, so Warzone.
Warzone. What's up with the zones?
The zones. In the Warzone Imperial.
Yes.
Imperial, they're going to be launching a full model line for Imperial at Salute.
Yes. And not last year's Salute like they said, but actually this year's Salute.
Yeah, it's more accurate that way.
Yeah.
But there's going to be lots of models.
It is.
Lots
and guys,
of lovely, lovely models.
If you guys are unfamiliar with the Warzone storyline, let me explain a little bit of something about Imperial. Imperial is 2 different forces that work under one army list. On the one side, you have the Imperial Regulars, which are trenchers and very doughboy aspect, very World War I, World War II trench, realistic-looking models. And then on the other side, you have...
Doughboys?
Yes.
Sorry.
On the other side, you have Space Vikings.
Space Vikings!
They are feral, lots of close combat, even their ranged weapons are generally short range. They have the Fenris attack bike. If you were looking for your crazy berserker techno Viking force, this is going to be it in spades. Really cool stuff.
Cool. Very cool.
A lot of options in the book. I'm going to say that arguably, it is the most well-rounded faction to date.
Okay.
For Warzone.
Versatility within there.
People that have been complaining that they've been too limited with only the box set, your problems are about to go away.
Okay. Yeah, it's good to have a little versatility in there so that you can feel like the Imperial in general, but you're like, I'd really like to be able to do this.
Right.
Now you should be able to.
And you can field it entirely regulars. You can field it, which is called the Ministry of War. You can field it entirely with the Berserker forces.
Okay.
I can't remember their real name, and I'm going to get a bunch of, hate mail posted underneath of this.
What? We ate too much candy to do all our research.
Wolfbanes.
Wolfbanes.
You can field an entirely Wolfbane force.
I like wolves.
You can mix the two together. A lot of different options.
Okay, so that's great. Mixed force would look cool.
It does. And it gives you the option to have the long-range distance support of the Ministry of War mixed with the suicidal close combat craziness of the Wolfbanes.
That sounds like a potent combination.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. Couple really cool characters in there. For those of you who are familiar with the Warzone universe, Sean Gallagher's making a comeback. There's a couple new characters that are just bringing out. Timothy's in there as well. Lots of really cool stuff, so it should be a lot of fun.
Nice. All right, next. Retro Raygun.
Talk about another thing.
Say that. Retro Raygun.
Gun. Talk about another thing that we've been waiting for over a year. Literally, guys, the reason why we're playing Counterblast right now, and to some extent, this is not a bad thing, but the reason we're playing Counterblast right now is I've been waiting for the Retro Raygun Kickstarter to happen for a year and a half, and it never did. So, but Retro Raygun is an entire model line. The models have been out for a while. There were no rules. There are now rules. They're coming out April 17th. The rulebook looks really good. Matt Beauchamp and company have done a great job with this one. If you are a fan of pulp sci-fi, again, much like Counterblast, this is a great game, great figures, very much in the line and feel of your pulp sci-fi, your original Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon, etc. Definitely take a look.
And for those of you who aren't familiar with their system at all, which I guess is most people since there's been a rulebook yet, they're really going for highly scenario-based, fast play games. This is not big, long, drawn-out. You know, again, with the pulp sci-fi, it's not big, long, drawn-out battles. It's, you got a thing to do,
right? You
got to get in and do it. And so it's a little bit more simplified and a little bit more objective-based, and, you know, which is a trend, the way games are, especially a lot of skirmish games are kind of going that way, but they're allegedly trying to hit that aspect really hard. So, again, get very good for you story players.
Yeah.
Because I have a feeling not all the scenarios are going to be balanced either.
No, in fact, they've even said that they're not. Like, some of the scenarios are intended to be, you know, off level a lot.
Right, so you're in there to tell a story, you know? I mean, you may be expected to not win based on the scenario, so. Right. But it makes for some good story scenarios, so that's cool.
Definitely something we're going to be picking up in next week, actually.
Cool. Also something we're getting soon. Superhero Dinosaur Zombie Apocalypse.
Oh my god, these models would be in the mail if it wasn't for England's having a holiday.
Superhero Dinosaur Zombie Apocalypse has just released their big robots. And when we say big, we are in fact not kidding. Do you remember
87 millimeters.
87 millimeters. To give you an idea, do you remember when we showed you last week, the week before, the guys, the little guys, and then we put next to them the dinosaur, which dwarfed the little guys. Okay? The robot dwarfs the dinosaur as more than the dinosaur dwarfs the guys.
Yeah. That's 87 millimeters.
Right
now,
there?
also, no, right there.
Right there.
But also, stop to think that this is going to be on a model base, which is probably going to be somewhat dynamic.
Right.
And now we're talking about a pretty big figure.
So, yeah, this guy is standing like this, and, yeah, I mean, he's big.
Yes.
Looks really nice, too. Really smooth, really, fun design still with that, you know, really loose, you know, not too serious kind of design they've been going with for the heroes and whatnot.
Very reminiscent of a certain 20-foot tall robot that you may or may not have seen in a Saturday morning cartoon.
You may or may not choose to paint this robot in sort of reddish and purplish hues when you get it. I'm just pointing out. I believe there has been rumors in-house here at LXG about a mall scene diorama. Mall scene diorama.
Like, I want to do it, but it'd be like an entire Pulp City table that's just a diorama. Like, or I could make an entire Pulp City table that's in fact a mall.
There you go. So there will be a mall table just so you can put the robots on it. This is what happens around here. It's just gonna. But they look really, really cool, and they're actually very reasonably priced.
Yeah.
Considering how huge they are.
Yeah, you're talking about 9 centimeters tall, or for those of us who don't live in England, a 3.5 inch
tall
resin figure.
Yeah.
For £15, like $22.
Yeah,
so,
which is really not bad. And since
and
it's resin, and since it's resin, it won't break your table. Because I can't imagine how heavy that thing would be in metal. I talk about sockworthy.
That
thing's sockworthy in resin.
Then it would definitely be $20 just to ship.
Yeah, which is probably why that didn't happen.
Yep.
So those are going to be here soon, and we'll show and tell you that when it gets here, I'm quite sure.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And that will be very, very cool. Okay, so, Shatteredverse.
Shatteredverse Ressurgence. Crushpop Productions. C-Pop. They have a 15mm game. They've been doing a lot of work on it. about 4 or 5 months ago now, they put up Shatteredverse Ressurgence 1.0,
Okay.
free quick start rules. They on Wargames Vault. They have updated those rules due to player feedback. Side note: companies responding to player feedback, always a
Very
good thing
good.
to see.
Good job.
Gamers, if you want a company that responds to your feedback, here's a perfect example. Support the people that are doing the games and doing the hobby the way you want to see it done. That's called capitalism. 2.0 version of rulebook, quick start rules. The game has no longer a D6 system. It is now a D10.
Okay.
Which is...
More sides!
More sides, far superior.
More numbers to roll.
4 races of stats and entries rather than just generic units now.
Okay.
Definitely starting to get fleshed out.
So our Shatteredverse is getting more fragmented now.
Yeah. Or maybe pulled back together.
Yeah.
Either direction.
Like it's good stuff.
But yeah, 15mm, again, for those of you who are the 28-32mm crowd, one of the neat things about 15mm wargaming is there's a lot of companies that produce models and not a lot of companies that produce games, and generally they kind of share a lot. So it's not uncommon to see forces from one company being used in another company's game. And I like the 28 and 32mm scene. No one goes crazy over it. It's just the thing. It's accepted.
Right. It's just, yeah, so substitutions are in, and there's lots of possibilities for that. And again, not very expensive to run, so really easy to try and get into it. And these guys are doing a good job.
Although, C-Pop, I need rules for a dropship. The size of a hoagie. Because it's coming.
It's a hoagie dropship.
3 of them. Well, yes, the ACP Games dropship.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the
the dropship.
The dropship.
15mm scale, guys like this big.
Yeah. You guys will also be seeing that as soon as it comes in.
It is, in fact, a mobile city.
Yeah, it's really nice. I can't wait.
Yeah. All right. On to more Kickstarter news.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the thing. There's a Kickstarter for an app called GameFindr.
Yeah. Here's where I'm about to tell you guys something crazy.
Yeah.
That I want you to do.
It is a Kickstarter, so they need monetary support. It is going to be a free app. So, Second Class Elitist, would you like to explain why we are giving people money to get a free app?
Okay. Alright, so I'm about to do my best salesman pitch ever.
He's good at this part.
I'm getting closer to the camera just to do this. Okay, so I'm going to explain to you why you want to spend money for something you can have free in 2 or 3 months. And why you want to spend money for it even though you're going to get it at the same time as everyone that's going to get it for free. And why really everyone who watches this and everyone that plays games go and drop $10, $15, whatever you can spare, $1, $150, I don't care. Go and drop it on this Kickstarter. This guy is making an app that will allow gamers, much like Finder and much like Restaurant Search and a whole bunch of other apps, to be able to find hobby stores that sell the games that they play and gamers that play the games that they play.
It's like Gamer Yelp.
Yes, exactly. It's a Gamer Yelp. Okay? Really cool stuff, which makes it not Yelp, because it's really cool. But,
only better. Gamer Yelp, only better.
Yeah, Gamer Yelp Plus. Okay, so the whole idea behind GameFindr, now called Gamer Yelp Plus, is going to be a free app. Anybody can download the app. They are going to be starting with a whole bank of games. The bigger the app gets, the more money they have for production, the more games they will be able to put in. This is going to be board games, so my board game people, you need to get on this. Miniature war games, RPGs, Risk, Monopoly, anything.
All-around gamer stuff.
Right. So,
very diverse.
Here's where we get to the part where I have to sell you on this. Why should you spend money for a free app? Apps like this only work when people know about it, and when people download it, and when people put their information in it. So, the app itself is written. The database for it is written. They are plugging in game information. They're going to be plugging in store information. Here's what you need to do. To make this work, they need a massive, massive amount of people aware of this and using it. Otherwise, what good does it do me if there's nobody nearby that has also downloaded it? So, the reason for the Kickstarter isn't to fund the writing of the app. He's done that entirely out of pocket. The reason for the Kickstarter is to fund the advertising campaign for the release of the app. And that's what you're putting money towards. So, what rewards are you getting for this? You may get a t-shirt if you pledge at the t-shirt level. If you want to make sure that your game is put into the GameFindr, you can pledge enough money, I think it's $100, to guarantee that your game is put in.
Nice.
If you want to make sure that your local store is in as a club, or if you want to make sure that your club is in, you can pledge high enough, and there is a reward level where your location gets uploaded into the app as well.
Right.
There are no downsides to this one, guys. It's just going to help us find people, find games, and grow the hobby. If I don't know if I want to start playing War Machine or not, but I have this app already because I play 17,000 games, I can plug in War Machine and go, hey, look, there's a store over in Vineland where they sell War Machine. I've never been to this store. What's its location? Cool. Let me go there. And see what this game's about, and see if there's some gamers that want to play it. Like, this is good for your friendly local gaming store. This is good for your clubs who are trying to get more membership. This is good for you if you are just an individual playing games and you want to find more people. This is good for the hobby. And everyone needs to do this. $1, $5, $10. If you're just a person, that's cool. If you want the shirt, pledge for that. If you're a club, go in for a club pledge. If you're in a friendly local gaming store, please support your own business.
Support your own store.
And get on the list.
If you're a game owner, go in and make sure your stuff's on there. But it's also about networking. I mean, a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of gamers getting in dollar or whatnot. Well, now the network's already started. Because it's part about that too. I mean, it's and we get this stuff to spread, get other people involved in it, and now this thing just works so much better. Right from the get-go, right from the Kickstarter.
Absolutely.
So
the link will be down below, underneath. I think it's got about 2 weeks left at the time of the shooting. Please, 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 $1, $5, $10.
Yeah, guys,
anything.
I mean, think about how much you wouldn't mind spending for an app that does this. I mean, lots of apps that are like, $1, $2, $3 or whatever, that you would spend that to be able to find stores that carry this product for this game that you play. So go in and buy the app anyway, even though it's free. Go do it, and make sure it grows, make sure it becomes more, and then the more we do that, the more it's useful.
And on top of that is even beyond just finding it. Obviously, the obvious takeaway is finding players and finding places that sell games. But let's take this a step further. Let's say you've been trying to convince your local LGS to stock a game for a year and a half. And for whatever reason, they don't think there's enough interest, they don't think there's enough money. Guess what? If you have a phone and you can go, look, hey, so-and-so, here's 150 players in your local zone that play this game. They will buy it from you if they know you stock it. Now you have numbers you can show the LGS. By the same token, if an LGS isn't sure if a game is worth getting into or not, they can do that research on their own now. This is going to help everyone.
Which in turn, builds more players playing a game and buying from a local shop, which in turn gives more money to the companies who are making the game so they can make more wonderful figures that you can get and have more characters and more different stuff, and it just goes.
This is just, everybody needs to support this because the hobby is transitioning, and in a lot of ways we're losing certain things. This has been the conversation for the last 5 years. Our LGS is dying. No, they just need to change. Our local gaming clubs dying. No, they need to change. Is independent gaming going to get rid of the giants? No, but there's enough for everybody to share. Guess what, guys? This is how you change. This is how you share.
We embrace networking.
Exactly.
And this is one of the
21st century.
Ways to do that. Apps are huge.
Yeah, 21st century, Cybertronics taking over. Everybody just needs to get on the bandwagon.
Get into it.
Okay.
All right. So now we come to the portion of the evening that we all love best. Show and tell.
All right, so I didn't have a lot of new stuff that we got painted up in the last week, for obvious reasons. However, I wanted, because we were talking about Bombshell and because we were talking about
Retro Raygun.
Wanted to show you guys a really cool model that is put out by Pegasus Hobbies. It is a great table piece for any retro sci-fi game. It's really easy to assemble, really easy to paint.
And it is actually 1/72nd scale.
Yeah.
Of the Apollo rocket. So, although that sounds really, really tiny, as you can see...
It's really, really not.
It is really, really not, and would definitely work as a standing terrain piece to look like a one-man rocket for any of your regular 28mm games.
Yes.
I mean, it's huge, it's over 10 inches tall, it's beautiful. Of course, Second Class Elitist has done a fantastic job putting it in, you know, Pulp 50's chrome and Fire Engine red. And, but of course, you could paint it however you wanted. But it's
really
the Apollo rocket, which is a gorgeous rocket.
Yeah, historically accurate piece in that it is actually the Apollo 27 rocket. You have a lot of options with this. If you wanted to make it more of a ground flyer, don't put this bottom engine nacelle on. And you can pretty much sit it on the ground, and now it's got 3 engine pods, and that looks really cool. It looks like a good land speeder kind of racer.
Or something like that, yeah, that's true.
If you wanted to change the scale, take the glass canopy, paint over it.
So that you can't see how small the seat is.
Yeah, and then you've got this pod there that could easily be a door for a walk-in 15mm figure instead of a crawl-in 28mm figure.
Right. So yeah, this could go 15, this could go 28. I mean...
If you really are feeling creative and want to do some inventive cutting, there is this beautiful panel on the bottom that if you cut that out, you could probably put a landing gear type device so that it could sit like that on the table.
Yeah.
Really easy to put together, much like most of the Pegasus stuff. Test fit everything first. I did most of the painting because this was all done with spray can work. I did, especially the chrome. I did most of the painting prior to assembly. But really, this is a good, just, you know, one-day project. Yeah. But it's something that can add a lot to your table.
And it looks gorgeous standing up on a table. I mean, it's a great centerpiece. And I mean, it's tall, it's beautiful. And it really, I mean, you have a lot of other short terrain around it, whatever. It stands up out of there like a monolith. It's really cool looking.
And it's not an expensive piece. Much like the Pegasus stuff, it is injection molded plastic. Yeah. Depending on where you get it, you may find it for as cheap as $15, as much as $25.
Yeah.
And it's available pretty much everywhere. So.
Yeah. So, because it's normal hobby model stuff. So, but it's really very, very cool looking.
Yep.
Can't wait to see this on some battle reports, some sci-fi battle reports sitting on the table. Really, really pretty.
We need to have some GDF/Galacteers.
Yeah.
You know, disembarking
there shall
on this
be
thing.
Galacteers.
Cool.
We'll be crying.
All right. So.
All right. So I think that about wraps it up. So that would be another wonderful Sunday news from us here at LXG. And you all have a good holiday. And I am Ali Alcatraz, the Zombie Apocalypse Queen.
Second Class Elitist. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, make sure to tell everyone about the video, make sure to mock me not being able to remember the name of units that I've actually written stuff for. And other than that, guys, if this is a holiday weekend for you, Easter, Passover, anything else on the list, enjoy your holiday. If it's not, enjoy your hobby, and we will see you all next week.